You want to know where all the budget money goes every year? Posters. It goes to pay for posters. World news. This week, U.S. President Joe Biden signed a bill making Juneteenth, a day celebrating the end of slavery in America, a federal holiday. This is great, of course, because now Americans won't have to take that day off of work when they're protesting systemic racism or the inevitable murder of a black person at the hand of the police. Interestingly, 14 Republican congressmen voted against the holiday, which is weird because 8 of them still took the day off on Friday. Listen, ideologically, if you don't agree with the ending of slavery, then you should continue to work nonstop, preferably with no pay. Oh, you thought you'd be on the other side of the work. Humans should be able to reproduce in space based on a new study conducted at the International Space Station. How did they find this out? Well, it's only half as icky as you think. They've been experimenting with mice semen for the past 6 years. So now, in addition to having to worry about the fact that clearly these guys know something is about to happen and are clearly trying to leave the planet, the rest of us should not be surprised when mice me too these so-called scientists. Because, I mean, it's a little weird. I mean, like, who is the person that figured out? In China, the play Too Long Legend is facing criticism for the part where 30 live wolves chase actors off the stage. To which I say, clearly those critics have never performed for a Bahamian audience. I did a live show in 2018, the good one, with the full house and people turning up. Anyway, the next week, I bucked this guy, and he was at the show, and he says to me, and this is a direct quote, "I didn't get it. I was trying to figure out why these people were laughing. No offense, but it was still... You know who is funny?" And then he proceeds to list off all of the other Bahamian comedians. Sawyer Boy, King Cloud, Daddy White, The Stop Liking Man Dudes, Bertram Bubbler, Naughty. Yeah, I'll take the wolves. Ladies, this is the last time for you to jump on this train. 6 months from now, when your friends are like, "Ooh girl, you see Schin?" And you're like, "Actually, no, I haven't seen anything from him in a while." That's because I block you. Because I trying to save your relationship. I need you to be taste stalking my page when I bust out with this new body.
All right, hey, my name is Dahar Butler. We're at Evolve Functional Fitness, and I coach All In. So All In basically is functional fitness. Some weeks we deal with cardio, other weeks we go weightlifting, and sometimes we murder each other with a whole lot of body weight movement. So what I like to do is take a solid of weightlifting, a solid of cardio, and a dressing of body weight movement, smush it all together. Nothing is random. I plan it, but it looks random. But it works out into a nice little medium salad.
I want to show you the picture of the nigga my girl left me for. Alright? And tell me like how long before I could get like this. So like, just want to make sure they like how long before I could.
So first off,
with your class.
You my honest opinion?
Go ahead.
Oh, first off, right? Don't feel bad. This is Edris Alba. He's taking
everyone. Oh, you know him too?
Yeah. So I say if you eating properly, cut out all the mayo, sodas, liquor, especially vodka. Vodka is the devil. All it is.
So how are you supposed to eat a conch snack? If I can't have mayonnaise or soda or liquor?
They put conch snack. They put mayonnaise in conch snack. That's a good question. They put mayonnaise in conch snack.
They put mayonnaise in everything?
No, maybe just leave the lime, the conch, and the vegetables.
The potatoes.
No potatoes.
We can talk about
this. Like a sauce.
We can talk about this later.
If you want to sign up for the All-In class, just come to Evolve right on Rosetta Street and walk into the lovely doors. You'll be greeted by some very, very awesome, and sign up.
Local news. It's been a long week in local news, so it's hard to pick exactly what to highlight. For example, during her contribution in the House of Assembly, Member of Parliament Chantal Ferguson reminded us why God made women.
We're more than 50% of the population. Yes, we are not going to agree with you. We're going to be difficult around the table. But just think about this. When you have an oyster and there's this beautiful pearl that comes out of it, It's from the irritation. And God made us this way for a reason. He made us this way to irritate you to do the right thing.
That girl is toxic. So wait, it's God's fault that you annoying? And I think she tried to use this analogy of a pearl in an oyster, starting as a grain of sand irritating the oyster. But I mean, the pearl is really the oyster trying to address a bad situation. That's like saying, wow, thank goodness that musician had a traumatic childhood because we got these 2 really good albums before they killed themselves. Don't glorify emotionally abusive behavior just because someone convinced you that that was all that you brought to the table, which is itself kind of weird. This is what happens when adults listen to Cardi B. Then, at another point, in a heated exchange about leases or government buildings, the former Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Works did not agree with what the present Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Works were saying.
Queen's Council across from me knows that you cannot build on anyone's property unless you have a lease or ownership of it. That's bullshit.
But don't worry. Using what I like to call the power of colonial obeah, the Speaker of the House uttered a few words and it never happened.
It's the ruling of the chair that the word uttered by the member for Cat Island Ramkin in Salvador is hereby expunged from the record.
If only the same could be done for criminal records of persons arrested with small amounts of marijuana. Oh, and the people who were arrested 5 years ago for protesting access to Cabbage Beach. But you know, you have to be a special person to get humane treatment in this country. Anyway, speaking about Cabbage Beach, this week, the vendors who have been working there for years, as well as, you know, by law, are allowed access, as are all Bahamians, to any beach in the country, were denied access by land developers. The developers moved the property of the vendors off the beach and then locked off access to the beach. Luckily, the Minister of Tourism was around to give what is the most passive-aggressive reprimand in human history.
So I told them to go back. You have 24 hours to think about it. I don't think your first run at this was acceptable to anybody, certainly not to me and certainly not to the vendors. And that you need to think about how you intend to move forward with this to make it more palatable to all of the parties involved.
You know what that sounds like? It sounds like a high school principal who knows that he can no longer beat children. You tell the children that you're disappointed in their actions, and then they tell you that their parents make more money than you. You try to tell them that money isn't everything and that their parents' money won't get them far in life. But you know it's a lie. It will get them very, very far in life. Your only hope is that they leave the country and become annoying rich kids in Florida as opposed to annoying rich kids in New Providence, because that's how you end up becoming a cabinet minister. So, meanwhile, in Grand Bahama, the Prime Minister, who I feel was there for a boat thing, was it a boat? I feel like that's a bad gal thing to do though. The Prime Minister dropped some hints about Vaccination Day.
When it comes to vaccine and the freedom of movement, we have given you the cake. And come Monday, you will receive the icing.
Ah, yes. Spoken like a person who has never experienced or been invited to a birthday party. In what world does someone bring you a dry piece of cake with no icing and probably an inferior rendition of the Happy Birthday song? We only want the Ancient Man version. Then 2 days later, they walk over to you with a plate of icing. Just icing. Nothing else. Delicious. This, of course, did nothing to clarify exactly what is Vaccination Day. So reporters asked Minister Dionisio de Aguilar, hoping that he could shed some light on the situation.
He consults and he will make the decision. We obviously gave him our opinion, and he will then, let the Bahamian people know what was decided.
If I can ask, what were some of the suggestions?
I'll leave that where that is.
Poor de Aguilar. He's having PTSD. Remember through the whole pandemic, every time he would say something, the Prime Minister would do the opposite. Now the man afraid to say anything definitive. Vaccine hesitancy. You need to talk about diagular hesitancy. Here's the question. Do I really want to go on a government-sponsored and planned vaccination vacation? It just feels like the government doesn't know how to throw a good party. You go there thinking it's a celebration of freedom, and then you reach and you realize it's just a 4-hour church service. And I say this because our Independence Day celebrations are usually just a 4-hour church service. They don't even do the thing anymore where the police like pop in on his motorcycle and then he just fall down and then the dogs come and they try. That's how I remember it. Also, I realized that COVID has spoiled me. There was this freedom of being able to scream at people, cover your mouth, or you're standing too close to me, or I refuse to shake hands with you unless I can immediately wipe myself down with a corrosive chemical. Now that people are becoming vaccinated, they seem to have forgotten that before the pandemic, personal space was a thing. People are now like trying to stand 3 inches from my face without a mask on, and they're like, it's okay, I'm vaccinated. And could you imagine for a second, you were minding your own business at work, typing, doing filing papers, whatever it is, and someone comes and rests their penis on your shoulder. It's okay, I don't have AIDS. That's not my concern right now. And I don't understand why everyone feels the need to suddenly whisper news in your ear all of a sudden. You spent an entire year and a half screaming through mass over Zoom calls, and now suddenly everybody has a secret that they want to share with you, and only you. Listen, buddy, me and you, we have no secrets between us, and I would prefer to keep it that way. Think about it. We have nothing in common, me and you. I mean, like, you are you, and I am trying to still stay 6 feet away from you. So, in conclusion, because the only people who have gotten their vaccination are old people and media personalities, I expect the only things to be open are churches and bars, or an Anglican church if you want to like knock the two things out in one go. Thanks for watching. Why? That girl is toxic. Like, share, and subscribe. Like the thing says at the end. If you stay all the way to the end, hopefully you do. And yeah, go on to different platforms and check it out. And also, check out the shop at Ko-fi. There's tons of things. If you want to sponsor my lavish 3 noodle a day lifestyle, you know? The end.